Hi, Willie Myatt from Piano with Willie. In this mini lesson, I want to talk about rootless chord pro tips. So now, as you probably know, I've been sending you emails for the past couple of days. We have a special going on our chord voicings and endings course, right? And that's going to be, we're in the last days of that special. So if you're interested in that, you definitely want to take a look at that before the sale ends. I've also been sending you some videos on rootless chords, so you've been learning a little bit more about rootless chords. But I've gotten some questions back from students in that they have difficulty being able to get to these chords quickly and being able to really know, all right, what tension should I put on these chords, right? Now, of course, in the chorus, you get all of the, the bell tones, like really getting those like big chords, how to form the rootless chord voices. So it really goes step by step. I just want to give you a couple of pro tips that I use when I'm actually playing gigs as well, right? So that you can kind of get inside my brain a little bit and you can kind of see how I think about this stuff. All right, so the first thing is, when you're going to try and create a rootless chord, right, you can, there's actually one other thing that I have to tell you that is kind of a special as well. I didn't let people know this because I was just in the process of putting the video together, but I actually have a new lesson called Rootless Chords Exposed, which really shows you how to implement these chords into your playing. And that is going to be an added bonus for anyone who purchases this Rootless Chords and Endings course, right? So if you're interested in the chord voicings and endings course, if you purchase that course, you also get this Rootless Chords Exposed lesson absolutely free. If you've purchased it a couple of days ago, I know many of you have already put in your order for the course and downloaded and whatnot. Don't worry, you're going to get the bonus as well, so I'm going to send that to you in the next couple of days. All right, so anyway, so let's talk about which tension should I be using? And I talk about this in more depth in the Rootless Chords Exposed video, the one that's going to be the bonus video. All right, so if I have my C7 chord, all right, and I have my guide tones, my third and my seventh. Remember, the third and the seventh really defines what the chord is. I talk about that more in the exposed lesson, all right? So now, the question is, so how do I get these tensions in here? Like what, what fingers do I use on which tensions? Right? On a dominant seventh chord like this, there's really two fingers that you're going to use. Your thumb up here is going to play some kind of note or tension, and it's either going to be the 9, the flat 9, or the sharp 9. That's on a dominant seventh chord. Right? So again, remember, I'm in C. Right? So now, this chord right here is one of my best friends. I love this chord. I use this chord a lot because it is open-ended. It's just the third, the seventh, and the ninth, and allows me So you see how, like here, when I go to the C to the F, I'm just using 3-note chords. So I don't have to use a lot of tensions. Here, I'm just adding in one tension. It's just the ninth. Now, if I want to add in another tension, what I would do is I put it in between these two fingers, and I'm going to use my middle finger. For these chords, I almost never use my fourth finger. And the other tension that I would choose would either be the 13th or the flatted 13th. So up here I have 9, flat 9, or sharp 9, and down here I have 13 or flat 13. Now, which combination should you use? Well, start with 9 and 13. That's the first combination you should use. Then try using flat 9 with natural 13. See how that sounds? Okay, try flat 13. Right? Now try sharp 9 with flat 13. What about sharp 9 with natural 13? Not good, because that's an interval of a tritone, right? Adds a lot of tension to it. So really, the combinations that you have are 9 and 13, okay? 9, 13, flat 9, 13, flat 9, flat 13, sharp 9, flat 13. Okay? Now, why am I saying flat 13 rather than sharp 5? Well, because I'm thinking of this as the 13th rather than as the sharp 5. Okay? But you know what? It's the same darn note, isn't it? All right? So if you think of it as sharp 5, it really doesn't matter to me. You could say sharp 5 and flat 9. People are still going to know what you're talking about. Okay? This is the flat 9 with the natural 13 is nice. All right? So now, wait a minute. What am I doing right here? I just played this voicing, but now I just went up here. Ah, okay. So there's two different forms of rootless chords. All right, let's cover that quick. If I have a basic triad, I have a root position, a first inversion, a second inversion. So there are 3 forms: root position, first inversion, second inversion. If I have a 7th chord, I have how many forms? 4. Root, first, second, third position. Okay, or third inversion rather. Okay, so I got 4 different positions or forms rather, 4 different forms for that chord. So that's a C7 chord, that's a C7 chord, that's a C7 chord, that's a C7 chord. We also call this voicings, 4 different voicings for that plain old block C7 chord. Well, the same thing holds true when I have my guide tones. Even though I have 2 notes here, I can have that form, right, and voice it like that, or this form. So basically, this is how you boil it down and you think about it. You put the 3rd on the bottom, or you put the 7th on the bottom. And it's always right there. See those? Those 2 fingers, okay? Using your 2nd finger and your pinky. Woo! Yeah, all right? Those 2 fingers. Why? Because then you have your middle finger and your thumb. I'm not going to stick up my middle finger, all right? So you got your middle finger and your thumb to use for other tensions, okay? These are your chord tones. These other fingers are going to be tensions. So chord tones and then tensions, right? Chord tones, tensions, right? So there's your chord tone, add in a tension and a tension. There's 9 and 13, right? If I go up here, chord tone, let me add in 9 and 13 again. I'm going to put one in between, and I'm going to put one above, all right? Like, how do I know? Oh, well, why not? Can I do this? Like, put the flat 9 and 9? No. Don't do that. I'm not going to say that you can never do stuff like this, but for right now, especially if you don't fully understand all of the rootless chords, make it easy on yourself. Have your guide tones, put one note in between, one note above, and always make sure that you're using just one finger in between here and one above. All right, don't put 2 in between. All right, so you have your guide tones, one note goes between, one note goes above. Same thing here. One note goes between, one note goes above. Okay, so here I can add in 9 and 13. There's my C7. I can add in flat 9 and 13, flat 9, flat 13, sharp 9, flat 13. So those are basically the variations. So 9 and 13, flat 9 and 13, flat 9, flat 13, sharp 9, flat 13. Okay? So 4 different variations there to work on. If you could get down those chords, believe me, your playing will change. Now, what I do is I use a certain finger as a guide. Because when you're trying to get 4 notes, you're thinking, okay? What I start to do is now I kind of take these 2 fingers here, and I can kind of feel that shape, all right? So that's what that shape looks like, all right? I can feel that shape, and then I hit that chord. That works on C7, works on E flat 7, works on F7, okay? So you can see how it works on B flat 7, right? When I go to D flat 7, kind of the same thing. G7, same kind of shape, right? G flat 7, okay? D7 is a little funky. Whoops. So, work that shape. So just try going chromatically and feel that shape underneath your fingertips, all right? Just moving by half steps here. Okay? And if you want, what you could do is, I used to do this as well. Play the root in the left hand. Play the root, go over with my right hand. Just so I could hear the roots. Okay? So this pro tip is that I'm not thinking about all these notes. I start to feel the shape. So when I get to an F7, I know that shape. I know the shape here as well. So that's the other form. The A form, the B form. Okay? And with those 2 forms, by the way, I'm able to move around and be able to get into more of the meat of the piano. Because if I'm playing up here, like, oh man, that's too high here. Oh, even this, it's like, I can't really, oh, that's better. All right, so now there's also some other cool things that I talk about in that Rootless Chords Exposed lesson is how you can use those rootless chords as improvisation as well, and that's some cool sound. Listen to that. All right, so I can kind of take those notes from the rootless chord and bring that into my improv as well. So some really cool stuff that you can do with that. All right, so anyway, hope that's helped to clear up a little bit more of how you can quickly get to these rootless chords and get the right tensions in with the right fingering. Okay, so like I said, we're coming to the last days of that special for the chord voicings and endings bundle. All right, if you're interested in that course, it's 4 DVDs. All right, so check out that course before the sale is up. All right, we're taking $50 off of the course. It brings it down to $99, $89, depending on if you get the DVDs or if you download it. So it's a significant savings on the course. Now's a great time to pick that up. The endings one, also great. You know, like getting down all those endings, like all the classic jazz endings. Definitely, if you're going to play any gigs, you want to know those endings. These are all endings that Paul and I both use on gigs all of the time. And a lot of players end up learning the songs, learning, how to improvise and whatnot, but they never learn how to actually end the song. So you get like stuff like, you get this nice song. And it's just like, what was that? You just kind of ended and blah. You're going to learn how to be able to end a song because the ending is what people remember, right? So like when you... Right? That's what they're going to remember. They're not going to remember all of that inner stuff. They're not going to remember like, oh, wow, what a great solo it was. They're going to remember, whoa, wait a minute, that just sounded really weird. Like, did I make a mistake there? So endings are extremely important, right? And Paul has gone through and he made 2 lessons on those different classic jazz endings. So definitely something to take a look at. Like I said, the Rootless Chords Exposed video will be made available as a bonus as well. And you're also getting the Finding Scale Secrets lesson. So you get a lot of bonuses wrapped up in this course. All right, so anyway, that's it for me. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next lesson.